The animated infosop niche was my go-to for gaining esoteric spiritual insights from the Father, the Son, and the Unholy Spirit. But the genre today has become an unrecognizable bloated corpse that Mr. Burns' AI types are trying to suck out as much sweet ad revenue from. Recent events on the platform, mainly the shadow banning of one of the most popular and influential animated info shows, as well as the straight-up demonetization of hundreds of animated channels, makes me believe that, let's call this chapter 1, YouTube does not care about animators, and YouTube does not care about AI. Here's what I mean. If you make content on YouTube, you probably know about the inspiration tab on YouTube Studio, which is straight up just topics which are similar to videos that your audience has enjoyed and already watched, complete with AI thumbnails, titles, hooks, and script outlines. I mean, just look at any of these. This one's apparently inspired by viewer comments. So it's essentially YouTube approved guides for making repetitive and inauthentic content, and YouTube very much encouraging someone to make something that already exists just because it's going to be popular and just because it already was popular. This is ridiculous. Why would I use this? What is my purpose on this platform if a computer can just tell me what videos I should make? And I feel like the next step is just that AI will just do my videos for me. It was stupid. But this makes me feel like, despite the ban, YouTube has no issues with inauthentic content. That is probably why YouTube is putting very little effort when it comes to flagging content. If AI was really an issue, YouTubers wouldn't be blatantly encouraged to use it. And here's where the platform is at, okay? The state of YouTube, the AI info slop faceless channel situation. I personally like to call it Chapter 2, the eye incident. Look at this video, okay? Do wild animals know when a human is trying to help them? This video has the same vibe as a dog that got hit by a car but was fine afterwards. There's something wrong about it. You can't quite put your finger on what the wrong thing is, but you wouldn't want to be left alone in a room with this video. It was posted on May 20th and it has 2.9 million views. The drawings are definitely AI, the voice is probably AI, but the script, well, maybe the script isn't, because the video is not flagged as being AI, and it is monetized. Also, look at this. The description has sources. Regardless, it's the type of video that will probably give you indigestion if you have it with dinner. The channel just has all the telltale signs of being an automated content farm. It was created like 2 months ago, it posts every few days, and the videos are just long enough to hit that sweet mid-roll ad. When I looked at the recommended column, I saw something really interesting. I saw this video. Do wild animals know if a human is helping them? Posted on 5th of June with 450,000 views. And I'll give it some credit. It's not the exact same video, and everywhere that matters it is, but it's 3 times longer and somehow provides 0 additional value, which we can agree is a lot of videos nowadays. Sometimes I'll watch a 30-minute video and think, this could have been an email. But anyways, Mac made this, or at least prompted Claude to make this. The channel was created 2 months ago and posts every few days, and Do Wild Animals Know When a Human is Helping Them is also a collaboration with Explain in Paint. Explain in Paint, which was created a month ago, posts every few days and uses the exact same voice, covers the exact same topics. So when I scrolled down the Explain in Paint's channel, I wasn't surprised to see a video titled Do Animals Know We're Helping? With 17,000 views. Except this time, Stickly has joined the collaboration, a channel which, despite being created only a month ago, already has 22 videos. And let's see. Oh yes, it's the same voice. It's the same topics. And you would also be delighted to know that all 3 are selling the exact same course. But that's not all. Look at this. Do wild animals really know when humans are helping them? Do wild animals know when humans are trying to help them? Do animals know when you're sad? Oh, that one's actually a little different. Do wild animals know when a human is trying to help them? Do animals help something? Do they know? I thumbnail with person inside. Do wild animals know when a human is trying to help them? Do they know? Do they know? Do wild animals know when a human is trying to help them? Oh, this one has 2 guys inside the eye. That's so original. And it gets worse. Do wild animals know when a human is trying to help them? This one literally has the odd ones out in the thumbnail, and this one just has actual salmonella.
What's remarkable is that this reaction often appears even in...
And let me tell you, so many of these are one-to-one copies. I mean, word for word, hundreds, maybe thousands of copies of one video.
Cortisol, the stress hormone, floods the blood. Adrenaline rises so high that if this happened in a human, it would be fatal within minutes.
Cortisol, the main stress hormone, floods the bloodstream. Adrenaline shoots up to levels that would genuinely hurt you if they lasted too long.
Adrenaline first, then cortisol, the stress chemistry climbing to levels no body can safely hold for long. Cortisol saturates the bloodstream within seconds. Adrenaline climbs to levels that in a human body would be fatal. Cortisol and adrenaline flood the bloodstream.
Literally piles and piles of shit that's burying what might actually be quality research on this topic. I mean, at least in the past, content farms were teams of people plagiarizing articles, reading off of Wikipedia, and tracing over stock photos. I'm sorry, H-Bomber guy, but my standards are so low at this point that I'll crack a smile if I see a video that's doing that instead of this. Because when a human is plagiarizing someone else's work, at least the information will be correct. Even the first video, because I do believe it was made with AI, is brimming with misinformation. And I promise I'm going to go over it at the end of the video. It will be like a little treat. But first I want to talk about how, yes, the sheer amount of these videos is insane. It feels like everyone's mom has an automated content farm. If you want to start one, but are worried about demonetization or not getting picked up by the algorithm quick enough, let me tell you about Chapter 3. Tutorial on how to steal and get away with it. I stumbled upon these by trying to find out why so many people are making AI stick videos, because anyone can draw a stick figure. To me, this really ruined the whole AI makes art accessible argument, because this is the most accessible form of art. But whatever, instead of an explanation, I got these detailed guides on how to make 50K a month on YouTube using Claude or ChatGPT or Grok. Hundreds of tutorials on how to make automated content and avoid demonetization. And it's the most bitch-made thing you could do. Because if you need a computer to summarize a 4-minute article for you, draw you a stick figure, and read out something when you have a working voice yourself, well, if you need all that, you're a bitch. And these people are very algorithm savvy. They could probably make content themselves. They're not stupid, but that takes courage. The money can be really good if you're not an animator. But the content farms are only after the ad revenue. These people make channels, they make passable content so they can get ads, and they sell those channels. And this does not feel like content anymore. This feels like the stock market. Okay, well, here's the thing. If you have an original idea, it can actually be ruined by AI. I know I promised you dessert. So, Chapter 4, the reading comprehension level of AI. Watching the video once made me think, this is a really interesting topic and a really poor execution, but watching it twice, however, left me with this very interesting aftertaste. The taste of word soup. You know, word soup when you gotta pad out an essay or when you have 3 minutes of content but really want a mid-roll. In this video's case, the word soup is made to sound like very legitimate information, but it's actually bullshit. Even within the first minute, the video says adrenaline levels would be lethal if sustained for more than a few minutes, which is misleading at best, because when high adrenaline levels are sustained for more than a few minutes, cortisol will take over as the hormone managing the stress response. And right after that, Claude or ChatGPT says heart rate doubles, then doubles again? A heart rate will not double and double again? That is impossible. I think whatever ChatGPT pulled this from said double or triple, and then the AI spat out double, then double again. And I'll get to the source in a bit, but the wolf section is just a complete lie. The source given for it is a 400-page book, which is irrelevant to anything that's being said. The creator says a human moves differently, slowly. So, like a predator. Creator has also added a story which I cannot find anywhere. AI's just quoting itself at this point. Source is literally, I made it up based on something I already made up. And then the video goes into explaining how one of the researchers looked right into the wolf's eyes, and apparently that is not in the threat assessment catalog. I feel like you don't need to read a paper to know that this is what predators do right before attacking. It is probably number 1 on the threat catalog, but ChatGPT has never tried to play Beastmaster with a stray dog and doesn't know you have to avoid direct eye contact. Now, I mentioned the sources in the description. Sources are a really good way for an AI channel to LARP as a human, and a human to LARP as an intellectual, but sources are also a really good way to find out that it's just that, LARP. The first source is an article that essentially just got the slight rephrasing treatment. But it's kind of worse than plain old plagiarism because I think a human told a robot to rephrase something for them. Something that is literally a 3-minute read, by the way. Also, it'd be really cool if you put sources in chronological order. That's just a pro tip. That was a pro tip right there. Now, the next source is an article which is, in my opinion, the perfect example of why you should not use AI for scripts. AI kind of has worse reading comprehension than a 3rd grader. I really am serious. I could give this article to my younger cousin that barely speaks English and I'll get a better result. I have no idea why the creator chose deer as the main subject for this part. He says ungulates, but the drawings are mostly of deer. Well, they're exclusively of deer actually, but literally 2 sentences into this article, the authors say that wild boar show higher cortisol levels. And then the creator tells you it's higher cortisol concentrations than animals injured by gunshot or struck by vehicle. And there's a very useful AI graph for this, which is fake. And the fact is also false. Which really shows how absolutely zero effort was put into this. It takes 2 seconds to copy and paste a graph. The article clearly states that vehicle collisions are the cause for the highest cortisol levels, not entanglement, which is listed under other. And with articles like these, sometimes it's okay to be cheeky and just read the abstract and the conclusion, but this person didn't even do that. I don't think they opened this article. I don't think they looked at the graph. But anyways, the 3rd article is actually mostly irrelevant to this entire video. The only thing, humpback whales have spindle neurons. And I find it really hard to believe that someone would read all this and come out of it with, oh, whales have spindle neurons. And again, you got one thing from this article. I don't know if I'm talking to the person or ChatGPT, it's either. You got one thing from this article and you still made the graph wrong. It tells you where the spindle neurons are. It ain't there, so nobody read this either. Now, next source, I think is for the elephant bit, and it's actually interesting, but it has no relation to what the video is describing. You certainly didn't read this. This article describes elephants helping each other as well as other species, rather than elephants being rescued by humans. There's no mention of traps or entanglement in this whole thing. And there's no mentions of tusks and tusk sensitivity. I don't know where the person got this from because it's not in the sources. And finally, my favorite source, which is a 400-page book, which is $30. Obviously, nobody would read a 400-page book to make a 1-minute section in an 8-minute video. But I thought, oh, there must be a relevant chapter or something. It's not listed, but there must be. There isn't. In fact, the closest thing I could find is not wolves being released from traps, but wolves being captured and released for preservation purposes. I mean, there was one bit which was related to population control, but I don't have that type of wolf autism where I would read a 400-page book about wolves. Here's what pisses me off about this. It's bitch made to have AI make your videos and AI be wrong because it takes courage to be wrong. And here's the thing, this guy doesn't care. He'll never pay attention to comments like, oh, Poopy is citing evolutionary psychology, cringe, pseudoscience, cringe. You know, I try and get better. I try to be more picky with my sources. I try to be more meticulous, getting several viewpoints on the situation. And I know AI does not do that. AI will tell you exactly what happened of 1,700 years ago based on a Instagram post that it saw, and I don't know, it will pad out a Reddit comment into an 8-minute video. So yeah, that was this video. And because other videos are copies of this video, these facts will just get repeated over and over. And because this video is now popular, when you Google this same question just out of interest, this is going to pop up and you're gonna be like, ooh, an animated video is going to explain to me exactly what I want to know. And someone is just gonna get swindled. Yeah. I wanted to make this video because I miss finding cool new channels. I see more of these than I see actual content. And it's sad to see channels that put a lot of effort into their content and they make something unique and interesting get less views than AI slop. Also, Implement's last video about how punishing it is to make high quality content on YouTube really got to me. That one and so many animation channels getting demonetized. Fully demonetized. I love YouTube. I love watching videos on YouTube. I think the platform is mostly fair. You know, I didn't expect this to get monetized. I also didn't expect that bots would take down 2 of my videos for endorsing terrorism because I put pictures of Ted Kaczynski in them. So stop giving bots power, stop pushing AI, and bring back the star system. Like, I wasn't there when it was happening, but it sounds pretty good. Much better than hype, at least. Okay, this was me, the Poopy Show. Not a obese Mexican man from Yucatan. This is where I spend like 12 hours a day. So, yeah. Bye. Oh, shut up.